Hello and welcome to my developer log for July 7th, 2023. This will be my second developer log, and I know what you're thinking right off the bat. It's been 2 months since I recorded the previous one. Wow, they must have gotten so much work done. Well, I did get work done on this little thing called The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which has currently taken up over 220 hours of my time, and I'm at 96% complete. So I haven't gotten too much done in terms of becoming a game developer. But I did learn of this tool a bit ago, so shortly after my last episode. In my last episode, among other things, I noted that one thing I really wanted was a cool tool to help me create music, something that I could just kind of drag and drop notes. And what you'll see I have loaded up here is this thing called beepbox.co. And I learned about this from Danielle Riendeau. She posted about it on cohost.org. Follow me on cohost.org. I'm Mario8th there. I'm also Mario8th on Tumblr. Those are the two that I have chosen. But I saw her post about Beepbox. She's been doing a bunch of series of posts on GameDeveloper.com, I believe it is, for beginning indie developers. So I'll link to some of her articles that she's posted in the description. Some very useful tools in there. I already knew about ren'py, but she talked about that in there, and she talked about this at 1.2, and it is literally exactly what I was looking for in terms of being able to create short, simple songs, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. You'll see I have a bunch of tabs open already from it. The tool itself is literally what I wanted. I can click this right here, and it'll play a note. I can make it last longer, and then play, and it'll play that. And I can do that for, each of these blocks has 4 measures in it, I guess depending on the time signature, or the rhythm in this case, and you can make pretty decently sized songs in this. I'm having a great time with it. You can also make it go like up. You can add up to 3 different musical tracks along with 1 drum instrumentation. You can also change what the preset is going to be. So I have no idea what new age pad is going to be. Let's see what that sounds like. Nope, that needs to be higher. I don't know how to make it higher. Oops, and I broke it. Yeah, there you go. That's what I wanted to do. Mess up the rhythm a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Super simple tool. I'm in love with it. It is, again, it's exactly what I wanted to do, and I've been playing with this quite extensively. So this is kind of the first song that I wrote. I pulled this up on my computer. I just tossed out some notes. I can't even remember the exact order that the notes came out of my brain, but I was kind of just playing around with it. Then I added some harmonies, I added a second track here, this third track is the bass line, and then just a really simple drum beat, and I came up with this little guy. And I am really happy with how this turned out. I realize if I'm going to put this in a game, I'm not sure it's going to be long enough. It's 1, 2, 3, 6, so it's 12 measures. That's fairly short, and this one's pretty upbeat, energetic. I could feel it getting tiring for whichever the user is, the person playing the game. I could feel it looping a couple more times and it start getting grating on them. So if I wanted to use something like this, I would have to A, use it sparingly, and B, I would probably want to encapsulate the rest of the song I've been given, maybe even try to take 2 of these and stitch them together in Audacity. But I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with that. I'm happy that I have this tool and then what I'm able to create with it. So right here, I believe this one, this one first, I started on my phone. And so this tool, it works better on the PC, of course, but it works just fine with the computer. This is almost a rough draft. First, I just spat this out. And I thought, I liked this this top riff part. This, I think, I liked at the time. In hindsight, I don't know why I kept it, because eventually I opened this up in another tab. Oh, I should mention, you see this long string after everything in the URL. This string encapsulates the song. There is nothing being saved onto a server anywhere. The song I'm creating, any change that gets made, gets modified in the URL itself. And so I could paste all of these in the description, and you would just be able to open it up and hear it as is, which is also really cool. This is such a fantastic tool. I'm in love with it. But this tune was alright. I decided to change it to this. You'll see I extended it a little bit, added, I guess, nothing else, but I changed it a little bit. Wait, is there a bass line here? No, okay. I just expounded upon it just a little bit, and I think it turned out a little bit better. So for this one, I tried to do something a little bit different from the first one, and I expounded upon this one. I liked this riff, and I changed this to be, I think it's supposed to, a Vox synth lead. It obviously doesn't sound like vocals. All of these synths are obviously potentially very bad synths, but I do really like the sounds of them. And I'm sure there's more stuff I could do to this. There's no bass line, there's no drum, or I could extend it out a little bit, change this solo a little bit more to add more to the song to make it loop a little bit less aggressive, but I thought this one was pretty nice as well. This one right here, it's only 2 of these little blocks right here. At one night, I was sitting with my family, and I had a little tune pop into my head, and I just quickly pulled out my phone, put it into here, and I just quickly worked out the notes that were in my head onto here so I could save it. And that's that. I just had a little arpeggio in my head, and I wanted to put it onto something slightly more permanent, and there it is. For this one right here, I actually was listening to, I heard the song Tequila, da ba 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 ba, and after going through my head enough times just yesterday, I decided to expound upon that a little bit. Let's see if you can notice where I got this blue melody, I believe, from the Tequila song. So there's a lot more I could do with this one as well. Just quickly spat it out. Again, these haven't been taking me that long. It's just kind of getting stuff out there. If I want to utilize it a little bit more, I can expound upon it later. This last one, I literally just made this minutes before setting up the recording. So much so that I had a melody pop into my head, and I just sang it. And it's not letting me play it. So I will paste this in right here. So I just sang this little ditty that you just heard real quick because it just popped in my head. I already was setting up to record this developer log, and I thought, okay, I'm going to use this as an example. I'm going to put it into Beatbox, and so here it is in Beatbox. And I also added a little quick drum beat, and that's what I did that, and I thought that was, again, it's really cool. One thing I also noticed was right around here, I go, doo, and so I can also do that in here. So what if I just go, what is it? I want it right there. How does that sound? Nope, that's too late. I want it. There you go. Yeah, there you go. That's what I want. And I just made that literally right now. And that is the main bulk of what I've been doing. I'm going to utilize the heck out of this tool when it comes to making songs for whichever game comes up first. I'm really happy that I learned about it. I'm having a great time with it. I'm going to keep having a great time with it. Are any of these songs going to be in the first game I make? Probably not. The idea that I have is a little tonally inconsistent with the stuff I've been writing so far. Plus, I've noticed in the few ren'py games that I have put some time into, one thing that it doesn't do well is loop music. It has a very distinct gap in between the end of a song and when it picks back up on the loop. And so when I start composing for things that are going to be injected into ren'py, I am going to have to keep that in mind, making sure that the gap that seems to get injected in between every song is built into the song a little bit. Plus, it's going to be totally inconsistent because the idea I have for the first game is about pirates and maybe escaping pirates, and so these are a little too jovial, a little too, I guess, platform-y or whatever to really fit with that. But for now, I've been having a great time. Beatbox.co, beatbox.co, it's great. I love it so much. For part 2 of this video, I want to get into a little bit, because I have a hard time sleeping, because one thing I do while I'm trying to fall asleep is I just think a lot, and one of the things I've been thinking about in the past couple months is how I want to build this game, how I want to design it. And so I have decided that this is going to be a text adventure. And so most text adventures, of course, are here's the story, and then sometimes you can go left, sometimes you can go right, and then it branches out from there. That sort of stuff. I also want to do that, but these question points right here, I don't want that to just be an A or B or C situation. I want to add a little bit of almost gameplay into it. And so I had this idea that along the storyline, you're going to be able to find a series, let's see if I can quickly draw one with a mouse, a series of die around the board. And what these die are going to be able to do is during story points, any die that you found along these story points are going to get added to, are going to weigh into the decision. And so I don't remember the exact game it is, but like Friends, it's a tabletop RPG game, like a physical TRPG game. Friends of the Table, I think, are currently playing one that uses this system, or if they aren't right now, they've extensively done it in the past. The one thing that I know is each player gets 2 die, and so that's how I'm going to do this one. Each player gets 2 die, and I think it's like 10 plus. I think it's 10 plus, they succeed the roll entirely. If it's like 7 to 10, they get a middling success, and then if they got 6 below, they fail the roll. And I want to implement a similar thing, maybe 7 to 9, whatever, you get the point. I want to integrate a similar gameplay experience into this. And so if you go through and get to this story branching point, there will be, let's say there's going to be 4 options or something like that. I haven't worked, I'm kind of working this out right now. There's going to be, I want to do a thing. And if you succeed in that thing, you get the 10 plus, then you can take this top branch. If you get the middle option, you get this branch, and if you fail, you get the bad branch. I don't want any of these options to end the game, but I want it to weigh into how the game ends later on. So each of these will continue down another path and have different story branches later on, but it all depends on the die. With that, let me go all the way back. With that, each along this initial story path, you will be able to have different moments where there will be other decisions in here that kind of depend on here. That is just more text-based adventures, but some of those adventures will get closed off and some of them will have dies. So for instance, if right here you can either choose to go through the left door or go through the right door, they both lead to the same spot. But going to the left one will reward you in a die, and going to the right one will just reward you in nothing. And if you collect, I don't know how many I want to do, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 depending on each major story point, but each time you get to a story point, any die that you found will get automatically applied to this decision. And so if you automatically have 2 die, but you have found 2 other dies, you will now be able to roll 4 different die and choose the best 2. So if this one's a 6, and this one's a 5, and then this one's a 1, and this one's a 2, it'll choose the 6 and it'll choose the 5 for you. So you have a better chance of getting the best result that you were looking for. And I think that's just a fun game mechanic in general. I've never played a TTRPG game, so I don't actually know in practice, but I've listened to it a lot, and I like how this decision matrix is chosen. And I think I want to integrate that. I guess I haven't played too many choose your own adventure games, but the ones I've have always just been pick A, B, or C. I've never seen any sort of skill check. And of course there are games. I have Disco Elysium sitting right next to me. I'm gonna get to it eventually. I know there are skill checks in that. I'm not making a Disco Elysium, I'm making a much smaller. I want to shoot for a 2 to 4 hour experience, but I like this level of choosing what happens, or seeing what happens in a game. And I think that's an exciting adventure. Exciting premise. I haven't put any of this to code. This is kind of the first time I'm really even verbalizing it. Most of this has just been in my head thus far. But I think I like that. Maybe up to 3 extra dice. Really buffer your chances. And then of course, after you get these decision points, all 3 of these dice will get used up, and then the continuing story will have more chances to find more die. And that's been the bulk of the development that I have been doing. I'm almost done with Zelda, and I've been really itching to get more productive again. So this devlog is going to come out. Then I'm going to try to get writing to more scripted reviews, and I really want to get more to the game itself as well. So anyway, this is what I'm thinking of the game. A die, and then 10 plus is good, 7 to 9 is middling, and then sub 6 is bad, and then you can get extra dies to buffer that. Let me know what you think about that. Definitely let me play around with beatbox.co. I love this tool. I'm having a great time with it. And while you're at it, maybe leave a rating on this video, maybe subscribe if you'd like to keep up with what I'm doing. Again, you can follow me on socials. I'm currently on 3 different socials: Twitter, co-host, and Tumblr. I'm at Mario8th on all 3 of them. That is at least until Twitter goes bottom up, in which case I will only be on co-host and Tumblr because I have not chosen any of the alternatives. One thing I can say for sure is I will never be on Threads. If you ever find a Mario8th on Threads, that will not be me. I will not be giving them my data or my time or my attention. But that's beside the point. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.